So here's yet another huge financial institution. I think you all may have heard of a little bank known as Citibank. And yeah, they're in too. They're all in. We've heard Bank of America, we've heard Wells Fargo, we know JP Morgan's in, we know good and well BlackRock is in. They're just in. But today's videos, you've seen Franklin Templeton, you've seen Standard Chartered, we've even heard Vanguard. I mean, they're ready, they know. And here's your Citibank, as I mentioned earlier. And let's take a quick look here. It says that the truth always comes to light, and XRP is that light. The birth of the new financial system sponsored by tokenization. Citibank, Ripple, Mataco. Mataco is the custody company for Ripple, where they bring custody to banks so the banks can offer it to their customers. They're all connected. Ripple, XRP, RLUSD, Financial Global Takeover. And these are just a few little slides to show what's going on. And then beneath there, Watcher Guru is saying that just in $1.7 trillion Citibank to launch crypto custody services in 2026. Why? Because we're going to have ISO 20022 going mandatory in November. We're going to have the Clarity Act. We've already got the Genius bill that passed. The Clarity Act will be done before the end of this year. So of course they're going to have custody next year because that's how money's going to talk. So they're going to need to be able to custody those kinds of accounts. I mean, it's obvious, guys. I mean, it's a simple straight line between these dots. Connect them. I've talked to people about crypto. I mean, some of them as early as just 3-4 years ago. Right, where I've mentioned it a little bit, and just now, what are we? We're in October of 2025. They're starting to ask a little bit about it again, and it's stunning how long it's taken very smart individuals to realize and accept what is so clearly and so obviously coming or here. Now, a lot of it has to do with their lives are involved in their own lines of business or their careers, and they got family things going on. They've got life happening around them, and they're not as involved in financial services. I get that. But for me, in 2017, when Bitcoin hit 20K, I'm not sure how people's eyes just didn't, kind of get a little bigger, and they didn't tune in. I did. And I thought, that's pretty odd. That's that thing I thought wasn't backed by anything. How could anybody think a digital code could be worth anything? Little did I know everything else that was being planned behind that digital code, and on all the blockchains. I thought there was just one at the time, to be honest with you. And then I started looking, and I found XRP, and XRP became a very obvious front runner. Although it hasn't been completely done just yet, they are the only ones with legal regulatory clarity right now. So if you're getting ready for a switch to ISO 20022 and you have an ISO 022 compliant and compatible blockchain that beat the SEC in a lawsuit, has products and services built for enterprise like banking and financial institutions, ready to go even before the Clarity Act. It's the only one, and you want to be ready for the market when the Clarity Act gets passed. Are you going to prepare your company for a coin that has zero legal clarity, or are you going to prepare it utilizing the technologies and the tools from a company that has an ISO 20022 compatible and compliant coin ready to go? That's the one you're going to use. They've got custody. They've got the moving of value system with RippleNet and XRP. And they also have the means with which to the liquidity, right? The means like Rail. They bought a company called Rail. They bought Hidden Road, which is a prime brokerage, and I think they're looking to get a regular broker going. But they're acquiring a lot of companies to create the ecosystem to be a one-stop shop for large financial institutions. And some people have said, well, they've got to be integrated by Swift, or Swift isn't using Ripple. It's like they're not going to need to. Ripple doesn't need Swift. Ripple is the new and improved version of moving money, not just messaging, but full settlement in 3 to 5 seconds. And like I said, full settlement. It's not just a message saying, hey, Money is moving from point A to point B, and then later the settlement is arranged and conducted 3, 5, 7 days later, right? There's no more of that. It'll be instant, much like what you heard from the person, the last two videos, where you heard somebody from Standard Chartered talk about ISO 20022 and the need for things to be quick. You heard the gentleman from Standard Chartered over at the CIBOS conference saying the same thing. And he was, as I mentioned, from Standard Chartered. And then prior to that video, there's the Sandy Call from Franklin Templeton saying the same thing. And here's Citibank. And you're going to hear more and more of them talk about it, because you're going to start seeing it in your little phone, bank phone app. All of a sudden you're going to have a digital wallet. That's what's going to happen. All of a sudden, Facebook, Apple, Samsung, right? All these major digital or tech companies are going to be saying X, TikTok. They're all going to be giving you digital wallets from which to function. They want you to use their service. There's going to be a big old fight to compete for this new technology and try to get you to use and onboard you into their version of it. However, if you're going to trust a major bank, they're going to need digital technology to help you custody safely those new assets. And they want you to come to them. And many people will, because it's familiar. Banks are familiar, so you're going to go to them. And there's Ripple waiting for you to use their services through these banks. I mean, they're not silly. They're not going to bring it straight to you and me. They're going to service those banks because they know good and well that people are going to trust this a whole lot more. And the major value, the vast majority of the large values held by the wealthiest people in the world are going to stick with their institutions, but they're going to want to know that their institutions are capable of managing their monies and protecting their monies with this new financial system that's coming in. And so they're preparing. They're going to be ready. So let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. We'll see you guys on the next one, and I'm getting ready for cup number 3 this morning. Take care.